I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Oh, hey. Hey there. How are you?
I missed that song. We were off for a day, and I really missed that song.
What a lineup we got today. 1 o'clock
do we
all the way
ever.
through. That 3 o'clock section with about 8 games is gonna be the make or break part of the day, that's for sure. But welcome to NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. It's Friday. It's been a long week. It's just a heavy sports week, man. And today, and it keeps going today. We got more football today. And we got
I think yesterday. Go ahead.
No, I'm not. Then you go ahead.
I said yesterday was a nice break from the hockey because it just gave us like football to settle into all day. But now, today, you have so much to choose from. You've got one NFL game, you've got some college football, you got NBA, and you've got a full slate of hockey, bud. Give me some winners. I need them.
Oh, yes. Hit that like button. Producer Mick shouting at me. Hit that like button. Good to see everybody in the chat. Neil, Bobby, just the gems there. Evan, Brian, Jam. Landscaper Bob's in the house. Good to see you.
Time to pump some juice. We were pumping juice before the show.
Oh, God. My juice is on empty here. If that makes any sense to anybody. But let's get to the slate.
A sporgy. I love that. Nice.
I'll get some stacks out later, but it is always hard. Let's be honest. Like, it's hard to be like, okay, I can give every one of these 15 games all my attention in terms of handicapping it, taking a look at like the random news. This guy's sick. He hasn't been feeling good. Like, it's really tough to stay on top of everything. I get it. We're going back to the well. Today's a Friday well game, and we're going back to the well right out of the gates. Carolina team total over 3.5 again.
At home.
No, at home versus Bobrovsky compared to Shesterkin. I know Shesterkin's been rough, but I don't understand how this is 20 points different from the Rangers game. 20 points better. Like, let's be honest. Florida, yes, they beat Toronto, but they went into that game on the Wednesday 1-6 straight up.
Yeah.
Like, Florida's not playing the greatest. And if we know anything, let's see Uncle Carlos test here. Let's see if he's been listening on the show. What is the name of the backup goalie in Carolina?
We did this the other day.
Yes. Did you learn anything?
Oh, hang on a second.
No, he's looking. No,
I'm not. I'm just looking to see who they're playing. Isn't it Peretz? I don't know what his first name is.
Yaniv. I think it's Yaniv.
Peretz, yes.
Yeah. I don't know if we see Mr. Peretz today, but old Spencer Martin has been pretty awful.
Yeah.
But they're winning games. And that's a really big point of this handicap. Yes, Carolina is scoring goals, but they're scoring goals because they have to. They did it on Wednesday, too, in that 4-3 win. They were down 3-2, came back, tied. Like, this is a resilient team. So we're going back there, and we're going back to the same play because it hit, and I liked it. And it's the Jarvis over 2.5 shots on goal.
And it's trendy, right? It's been hitting.
Yeah, and it's the Aho point with him. And they're winning, so they're not going to change anything. And if producer Mick can bring up this Johnny Depp-looking MFer, boom, look at that.
Look at this guy.
Oh, who doesn't, like, when you're betting to see, like, who got a point, and you scroll your little thumb over the NHL app, and you see those dangling bangs and that pirate mustache. Oh.
He's Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, is he not?
100%. 100%. And also a guy
who's playing like a pirate right now, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So we go with that stack at 340. Love it. I believe the point, him and the point for Aho is like plus 112, but add the shots. Add the shots.
The parlay is over shots on goal, Jarvis and Aho.
No, it's just Jarvis shots on goal, and then the point stack between the two of them.
Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I thought you added the Aho shots on goal. No.
Points.
Yeah. Double over on, but that's where it came from, right? We were talking about him like, well, I like his points. I like You can just take his shots on goal if you want. It's like plus 130, but put it together. Juice it up.
I don't like to be Debbie Downer in this because it's a really exciting day with hockey returning. I just get really, I wouldn't say nervous, but I try to err on the side of caution on a game like today with a slate like it is today, afternoon games after a full day of just vegging around and stuffing your face, the gluttony, the tryptophan hangover, the food coma that these guys are going to be in. I'm not like, yeah, you want to stick with the things you've been seeing or you want to believe you have an understanding on how these teams have been playing up until now. I go back to when I played. When I played, this was a day where I didn't really feel my best to play a game. Because
does that make it a sloppy game, a low-scoring game, more time than not?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it could mean that the goalies are sloppy too, right?
Yeah. It turns into that Saturday afternoon game where it's either 2-1 or 6-5.
Yeah. You just don't know what it's going to be based on what the guys – because I'd imagine there was a full day of drinking going on, full day of eating going on, and you just like full day of nothing going on too. Like nobody worked out. Nobody did any like on-ice stuff yesterday. It was a full day off for everybody.
I'm sure. Hold on. We're 2024. What year are some of the young guys? Like Celebrini was born in what year? 2000.
He's 2000.
2006.
No,
2005.
18, 24. Yeah, 2005, 2006.
Yeah, those 2000 kids aren't out there drinking, and they're probably still on their hard program, I'm sure. But nothing crazy. But like we tried the understack on Wednesday and got absolutely obliterated.
Crushed. But you kind of like jokingly predicted that, right?
Yeah, like it would look too easy, right? And that's how it is. And you're like, in one of those times, like you should probably be back on the stack unders today
for the Boston game.
Yeah, but like for some of them, like I'll play. Yeah, I know. We'll see. Anyway, that's Carolina game.
Well, I think like I like the Penguins stack unders because they're not that good at the team as it is. And with
you
the
can
way
stack
Boston's,
the full first line, the Crosby, Raquel, Russ line.
And well, Crosby maybe one guy I want to keep out, but if you're going on the trend here, I just think that regardless of what happened last game with the Islanders, the Boston Bruins have clearly bought into this new way of playing defense under Joe Sacco, which is a little bit mind-boggling if you ask, but how they could do it with one coach and not the other when they're basically playing the same system. So the shot suppression you talked about.
Yeah, okay, so let's get that out right out of the gate. Let's go. Ricard Raquel. Producer Mick's going to have to jump over a couple, but Ricard Raquel, under 2.5 shots, minus 125, playing on that top line with Rust and Crosby. But guess what? He's probably the least productive guy on that line. He's still PP1, but Boston, don't let that 6-3 game fool you. Boston in those 4 Sacco games, as I scroll down, 22 shots, 20 shots, 14 shots, and 24 shots. And that 24 shots was on the second of a back-to-back.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
Raquel,
okay, so,
and then trending, Raquel 7-1 to the under on this in his last 8. Regardless, now he has to play maybe the best shot suppressing team over the last week.
Okay, is there a saves market out right now?
No, we got to wait to find out.
Saves?
Today's such a funny day because there's no morning skate, so no one really knows until game time, basically. So we'll have to see, but that's a great spot. Like if you can get Swayman under 26.5, that would be great. 25.5, I might even play. Pittsburgh's not an offense that you really see do much all year. They're still arguably bottom 4 team in hockey. Like I said, I'd rather run Anaheim. I'd rather run San Jose. I'd rather run Utah than be running the Pittsburgh organization.
Yeah, that's true.
At least there's some excitement with those guys. Valerie Pusanen. There's your guy. There's your excitement.
Yeah, there it is. That's the excitement right there.
No, it's not the excitement. The excitement is, let's talk about the Seattle-San Jose game because there's some things I want to deal with, and it's not a play out. We'll put it out there right now, but like we need to wait. Okay, it's the Eklund and Celebrini point. If we could pop that up. 230 is, I know. Wow is right, and that's why we need to put it on hold for now. We need to find out if Michael Granlund is playing, and we won't know until later.
Okay.
So that's
Why
it.
is that?
Because if Granlund plays, they might shuffle the lines. They might go back with the Ekline because he's playing with Zetterlund, Eklund, and Celebrini on the top. But I don't know.
The Lund line, yes.
I know, but I don't want it back. I want Celebrini on that top line because he's playing
Okay.
PP1.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
So that's what we need to do. The guy Celebrini's playing over 20 minutes a game. That is an insane amount of time for a rookie. 6 points over his last 4 games. Are we sleeping on what Celebrini really is? Like, it's him and Michkov in the Calder race, but Torts ain't going to go out and give Michkov 22 minutes a game. When you hear what is he, 18 or 19? He's 19.
19.
Yeah. When you hear a 19-year-old getting 22 minutes a game in the NHL, what does that tell you about the trust that he has within the coaching staff?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a trusting or a roster construction thing.
They're not a terrible roster.
No, but they're not. But he's the first overall pick. I mean, there's a guy that they're building their franchise around.
So is Alexis Lafreniere. He's
right. But I mean, Lafreniere came into a Rangers organization that had a top 6 already established. The San Jose Sharks don't have. I mean, what was Bedard's numbers last year with ice time? Had to be somewhere similar, no?
Who knows? Who cares? He's minus 115 to get a point or not to get a point now. That's where his point total has fallen to.
Bedard is?
Yes.
Who they're playing today, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing Minnesota. They're going to score 0 goals.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Bedard. Yeah. Right?
Under Bedard. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad look there. The under Bedard versus our goalie. 1-0 win regulation on Wednesday, right? Like that was
like we called it.
Yeah, scored early and then win 1-0.
Yeah, so going back to the Celebrini thing, the reason why they're playing him is because he's really good. I mean,
he's very good.
He's really good and he's on a good run right now. So I don't see why they wouldn't try to find more ways to get him on the ice more.
It's worth the wait to find out what they're doing with the lines. I believe I'm going to say his name wrong. Peng Sheng is the beat writer for San Jose who actually does a fantastic job. Some guys are just like, like the big name beat writers, like they won't reply to you or like this guy's putting everything out there. He's probably one of my favorite beat writers out there. Let's see what we had for Bedard ice time last year. 1947, but I mean, 22 minutes is like,
no, that's big. That's hefty.
But we're waiting to find out. We're waiting to find out, and we need to, because San Jose props are absolutely on fire versus Seattle, who also not a bad spot. I think we got a Daniel Sprong point market, and that might not excite you, but it really excites me because you can go, you can go the entire Seattle second line, Jaden Schwartz, Stevenson, and Sprong. All play together, second line, all play on a power play together.
Yeah.
Plus 500 versus San Jose.
Wow. There you go. That's a juice pumper right there.
That is a juice pumper right there.
Yes.
We'll get that out later. I got to find out. Producer Mick, throw the next bet up. I forget where we've gone. We've gone all over the place. Old Carlo jumped the gun. Cooley Gunther, my favorite. These guys, they keep doing it. Yeah. 3 in a row. They keep stacking. They're playing on PP1. And my favorite part about this, Carlo, they're playing Edmonton. And Edmonton is like Carolina right now with their goaltending. They need to score to win, but they're being priced as underdogs. You give the question I wrote down has nothing to do with betting. In your NHL career, because this will be Edmonton's first time into Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have to go to a city for the first time with like an entire team? Like that's a pretty interesting experience, no? Because usually you go to places, people know you, you can get your dinner spots, you get everything, but going to Utah for the first time as a team?
Yeah, for a place, I mean, you're probably texting guys on the home team and saying, hey, where's a good spot to go? Or you're texting guys that have been in already and asking them where to go. I can't think of I'm just looking at the teams right now of anybody that might have been in new. Maybe the Islanders, because they used to be on Long Island, but now they're in Belmont playing there. New Jersey, because they used to be in like the city of New Jersey, but now they're in Newark.
What'd you guys eat when you were on the island? When you guys were in New Jersey?
It all depended on where you stayed, right? If you stayed at Garden City, there was always like nice Italian restaurants there. If you stayed in Newark, you probably just grab something at the hotel quickly. There isn't really many good things to do there. But yeah, I think those would be the only two situations for me because there wasn't much. Maybe okay. Here's another one: Atlanta, going from Atlanta to Winnipeg.
Ah, yes.
Right? When they had that franchise transfer. But Winnipeg was easy because you were right downtown and you could always find places to go.
Never been to Winnipeg. Don't really plan on going myself. I don't know. What's your take? What's your Winnipeg take?
I actually didn't mind it. I love playing. Like I don't care. Like to me, I'm not a big guy of like, oh, what's the best thing to do in town? I just want like. Actually, there was a Ruth Chris Steakhouse like literally next door to the hotel, which was perfect because get yourself a nice steak there. But I like playing in cities that have like fun atmospheres to play in, right? And Winnipeg sold out every game. They're wild about their team, and it was a fun environment to play in. I didn't really care. Like to me, like I grew up in Ontario. I grew up in Toronto. Like the cold doesn't really like turn me off because you're just used to it. Do I like it? No, I hate the cold. I actually don't mind the snow. I just hate the cold. But I mean, if you hate the cold, just don't stay outside very often.
Advice from Carlo Colaiacovo. There you go. Take that one. You don't like the cold, don't go outside very often.
Don't go outside. Stay home.
There
Stay inside.
Carlos plus EV advice of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. No, what I don't know. I'm still going down this. We got one more pick, but sitting there with the team, eating. Tell me who was a player that like people must come up and bother you sometimes, right? Like while you're eating mid-bite, right?
At a
yeah, if you guys were out at a restaurant, yeah.
Not really.
Really?
Not really. Yeah, it depends on where you are. Like if you're in a Canadian city, yeah, maybe. But if you're in an American city, nobody really knows who you are. And I mean, unless you've called to make a reservation and the owner comes to say hi, or the hostess, or people that are there that know you because you're regulars. But no, it's not really that big of a deal.
So you don't think
at least for me it wasn't. I mean, I'm not Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby and asking for a private room.
Yeah.
Can
you sign my napkin, sir? Weirdest thing you've ever signed?
A face.
Nice. Forehead?
Yeah. It was going back into my junior days, and I guess they thought it was a cool thing. Someone's like, hey, can you sign my cheek? And I'm like, really? And then they're walking around with like my autograph on their cheek, and I'm like, that's weird. But the weirdest ask, which I didn't do, was in St. Louis. I came off the ice once, and there was this like really nice young lady, just had a baby. And she's like, can you sign my baby, please? And I'm like,
yes.
I'm sorry. Can you ask that question again? Sign your baby? She's like, oh, yeah, sure. Just sign over here. I'm like, look, man, I'm happy to sign anything else. I just don't feel comfortable doing this. It just doesn't seem right. She's like, okay. Cam Jansen comes on right after. He's all sweaty and hands everything, and sweat dripping off him.
Your baby?
Hey, Cam, you sign me? Oh, yeah, sure. He just out of nowhere just signs the baby. I'm like, dude, just sign the baby, man. Like,
Cam Jansen, the toughest guy you ever played with?
I wouldn't say the toughest.
Least
Ryan
guy
Reeves.
you want to fight?
No, there's a couple of them. Ryan Reeves, definitely another one. DJ King back in his heyday. Zach Ronaldo, he's crazy. I'm trying to think of who else. Tough guy. But Cam's right up there for sure.
What a breed of human beings. He's some of my favorite content too.
Cam was one of those guys that I played like junior against too. And like he was from Windsor. Windsor had like this old barn, and he was one of those guys that just loved doing dumb things on the ice and going to the penalty box and taking his like chest protector off and just being in the box with a shirt off and just doing the chest pump. He goes, playing that music with his pecs.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys too that like he just try to kill you when he'd hit you. And a lot of times it was late. Like you'd pass the puck and you'd count to 5 and you're like, okay, I'm good. And then 6, 7, he's like, you know the water boy when he makes that noise when he hits you? That's the way he would hit you. Just a crazy animal.
All right, there you go. We'll send that over to Jensen.
Yeah, story time with Carlo when people are here wanting betting picks. So
stop. They're at the bottom. They're scrolling. We gave them it first.
Okay,
freeloaders.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Freeloaders.
Receipts in the mail, guys, if you don't like it. I'm driving this boat.
Yeah.
I still got another play. It's your buddy, Kevin Lankinen. He's good. He's very good on the road. He's 8-0 on the road. He has a 169. Awesome. It's yeah. I don't get it. You're going to have to explain it to me. But Buffalo, team total under 2.5 plus 125. Going to get that one in. We saw Tage Thompson draw back into the lineup. Didn't do anything. And we kind of predicted that. Like, it just doesn't, just when you get your guy back, and you'll see it in Toronto when Matthews jumps back, there is an adjustment period for guys and an offense to reassemble in a way, especially with a top-heavy guy. Because when your top-heavy guy comes in, Carlo, everything changes, no? Like, it starts at the top, and then everything kind of filters back. So he's on 1. Yeah. Now who was in his spot goes down to 2, and, like, it filters across multiple lines.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And it kind of throws everything out of whack for a little bit, but at some point it adjusts.
Yes. But right now, I'm going to ride one more game where it doesn't adjust versus a guy who's undefeated on the road somehow.
I think that's the better angle to look at versus, the adjustment.
Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just part of it. I'm not saying that's the handicap. The handicap's more on Langdon. Florida, right. Philadelphia, Chicago, San Jose, Anaheim, the Kings. He won every game on the California road trip, and he started every one. Wow. That's wild.
That is. He's a great story, man. Great story. Signed like a couple days before training camp opened.
So explain it. How does a run like this happen for a goalie who couldn't get a contract?
I mean, the answer to that is Arthur Seelovs. This guy came in in the playoffs last year, and literally the same story that Lankinen came in and went on this incredible run, helped them win a playoff series, took them to game 7 of the second round against Edmonton. And then this year just can't stop a beach ball. So goalies just get on these magical runs, and the hesitation is that from people that watch that is, okay, is this just some sort of hot trend that he's on, or is this something that actually makes him a legit goaltender? And the guys that come out of these streaks and find some consistency to their game, or even a higher level of consistency, then you say to yourself, okay, these guys are for real. But for Lankinen, for a guy who's been a career backup, I think he's just catching lightning in a bottle right now.
Lightning in a bottle. So last question, last Carlo story. Best stretch of goalie performance you've ever seen on your team, sitting on the bench.
On my team?
Yes. Or maybe even against, where you're just like, I've never seen a goalie over a stretch, maybe in a playoff series or something, where you're just like, this is unreal. And that's kind of where it comes from, right? The Hamburger there.
That's a great example right there.
That's it, right? Yeah.
The Hamburglar, how he comes in as a guy that was a career minor leaguer and basically puts the Ottawa Senators on his back and marches them into the playoffs.
Tim Thomas wasn't like a big prospect either, was he? Like, I mean,
I don't recall.
Yeah. No.
The best example is Jordan Binnington, right? This was their 5th string goaltender that year. Comes in,
Canadian starting goaltender,
and marches the St. Louis Blues to a Stanley Cup.
So quick, off the head, if you can think, best goalie performance you've seen over, like, not just a game, like maybe on your team over a stretch of games, or maybe in a playoff series against.
Well, Chris Mason, my first year in St. Louis, was part of this incredible run that we went on, where I think at the All-Star break, we were like last place in the league. And then post All-Star break, I think we lost 2 games to finish the season and marched our way into the playoffs.
Wow.
And then we got swept 4 games into the playoffs by Vancouver. Jaguar is a good one too, as JPC 4th. Honestly, like, I can't think of anyone on a team that I played on, but on a team that I actually witnessed, it has to be Jordan Binnington of the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Potvin in 93. Yeah, all right. There it is. Get some Carlo stories on a Friday, a little holiday Friday. I don't know how many Americans are there, but Europe, appreciate it. Marley, as a European fan, finally, I have a decent amount of games. I don't have to stay up until 3 a.m.
There
That's
you
a
go.
Good point.
Yes,
that's a good
very
point.
good point. I used to love afternoon games when I lived in Germany for 2 years.
I spent a decade in Taiwan. I was watching I was paying attention to the KHL on my nights.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, wow.
So Taiwan, you'd wake up in the morning and watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So to get your regular night fix, you were
watching the KHL.
Yeah, betting on the KHL. Yeah, you're like, you want to talk about travel schedules, right? Yeah. Oh, Joker, the Finland team's going over to China to play Kunlund. They're going to be tired in the first period.
Wasn't Vladivostok?
Yeah,
Vlad. And what was it?
It's not just Russia. There was a team in China. There was a team in Finland. They're everywhere, right? So,
but I believe there was one team that had a 9-hour time change in the KHL.
Yeah.
It was Vladivostok.
Yep. That makes sense. The old Russian gas. Let's go. All right. I got Blitz coming up right in 4 minutes, so I got to jump over there. But this is what we're doing. I will post to find out if this Eklund, I'll write it on my hand so I don't forget. Eklund celebrating point. I said, don't get it yet. Wait. We got to see what Granlund does. If Granlund's out, that's a go. If Granlund plays, they might still be together. I'm not sure, but I don't think they should break it up. But that's where I'm going with that. Plays are down there. Stacks are coming out. I already dropped the stack for the first game. I'll drop the other stacks. I'll be in a taxi on the way to the city. Tirana. Country mouse, city mouse situation going on for me today.
There you go, buddy.
That's what we got today. You guys are beautiful.
Appreciate
it. Thanks for the stories.
Be safe tonight.
I will.
Yeah.
Might wear my bucket hat out in the city. Leave it at that. NHL Puck Props Presented Sports Interaction. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. Lead us out, pal.
Ciao.